you know what? We watched the game, and do you know nothing has been said about, you know, which players didn't perform, whether the manager was crap. The pundits have all gone, squeaky clean. Nobody wants to dig a finger. Nobody wants to be ostracised in the real world of football because they're all scared of saying anything about the manager or the players individually. They're scared. There's a little shop there. You don't say anything bad about the players. There's a players' union. If you do, you are not allowed into their training grounds and into their clubs and that because you're ostracised. So nowadays we can't say anything. You know, all the players don't say anything bad. He's not good enough to be in the England setup or whatever. Or Carsley at the moment, who they all think's got the job, and we've got proof of that. They won't say anything about Carsley not being good enough until he really screws up again and doesn't get the job, hopefully, and then they might. But yesterday, what did the pundits say? I don't think it was bad. These things. I don't think it was bad for development. You know, they'll learn from this. It gives them freedom, you know, to play the game. What? I mean, Dixon said, "Where are the fullbacks? There are no fullbacks. You know, you need to be a fullback." What was he digging at then? He was actually saying, "Trent, where are you?" I mean, let's be quite honest. The only dig they gave was Watkins should have scored, and if he wants to take up that chance of getting in the team, he should have scored. Oh, flipping hell, poor old Watkins. I'm not, you know, you can't blame him for England being 1-0 down, coming on and missing, you know, one opportunity. You know, it was on what, for 20 minutes. You know, what's happened to the other 70 minutes with the other players? You don't blame Watkins. Pickford, you know, keen to having a go at Pickford. Yeah, Pickford was appalling, and actually, I think really a great goalkeeper, but he's not good enough. You know, Ramsdale was let go from Arsenal because of his antics. Regretfully, and I love Ramsdale. Pickford should be the same. I really do think Henderson or Pope should be the first choice because they're much calmer goalkeepers, better in the air than Pickford. I'd have them in my team instead of Pickford. But I'm not going to have a go at him because it's the outfield players that actually were causing all the problems. They weren't a team. Whether that's Carsley's fault, his tactics. I mean, they said, you know, everybody's playing in the middle. You know, everyone's playing in the middle. They're all sort of getting under each other's feet, basically. So the tactics were poor. Somebody said they're all round pegs in square holes. Well, yeah, but whose fault is that? There's a person whose tactics they were, so that's Carsley's fault, okay? And then the team themselves, that wasn't a team. They were individual players playing for themselves, playing for individually for themselves because they all want to get picked and they all know it's either me or him in the team. You know, let's face it, Gordon, Foden and Palmer, they all want to be picked. They're all great players, but they want to get in that team. So they're all doing what they can for themselves. And, you know, they're not going to interplay and interchange as well with each other, knowing that he bloody scores, I'm out the team maybe next game. So, you know, there are things you've got to think about. Why aren't the players, you know, saying, Trent, I'm sorry, I said it yesterday, if he plays, which I'm not saying he shouldn't have played, but if he plays, he's got to remember he's a fullback first, okay? When he gets the opportunity to go forward, that's great because he's got Palmer and Saka in front of him. That threesome can be brilliant, but he's got to remember he's a fullback and make sure he covers. He was never there. You know, you watch the Greeks, all they kept doing was playing down that left side a lot the first half. Trent was never there. He wasn't, and I'm sorry. He can turn around and I'll listen to his interview and say, you know, I'm this and I'm that and I like playing where I want to play. But I'm sorry, mate. The manager either plays a player who knows what he should be doing. Because if you don't play the tactics, you shouldn't be there. Trent, honestly, mate, if you're not going to make sure you're covered, because there weren't the right players to cover him, okay, and he went missing. He was on the left midfield at one stage, and the ball came over the top. There's nobody in his position, and you can't keep blaming everybody else. You know, when that's your position, you can't cover 2-3 spots when your players are completely out. So I got a lot of why won't anyone say that about Trent? No, he's the loved one. He's always brilliant. Well, I can make a clown, you know, who plays with, you know, juggles footballs, can do some of the tricks Trent can do. But when you're playing 11 aside, it's about being tactically aware. And if you aren't tactically aware and those around you, you can forget it. I'm not knocking Trent. There were a few players there that didn't play well. But what I'm saying is the pundits won't pick out the faults All they keep saying is, oh, yeah, there's another game, we'll learn from that, there's development. Pundits are absolute scared of saying anything because they're scared of upsetting the football union. Football Chat, Reno Uncensored. Football Chat Uncensored, Reno talking. I'm so fed up with football pundits. I seriously am. They are just, they won't shoot one of their own. And I'm not saying shoot. They won't say it as it is about one of their own.